Hey there, guys, what is going on? Slappy here, and I apologize to all headphone users, but it is episode 50, and I cannot contain my excitement for this momentous occasion. 50 episodes on the Creatinators world. It is, it's something, man. It's crazy, and as I sit here, I'm looking at all the thumbnails for all 50 episodes. And it seems like we've seemingly done a million things and nothing all at once. It is mind-boggling. And I thought today, in honor of this special occasion, we would take a look around, do a little tour of everything we've done. Look how much my hand is shaking right now. Can you guys see that on the screen? No? Okay, we're good, I think. Anyway, I thought we'd look around, see what we've done. And that all starts right here. Episode 1, we spawned somewhere, I think over here. Spawn is sort of center of the map. I think we spawned somewhere sort of close-ish to that. And I immediately went to the top of the map for some reason. I'm not really too sure why. I guess maybe it seemed like a good idea. But I just went all the way up to the top of the map. And well, here we are. This is the top of the map. Originally, I built a house out here, and if you actually go that direction, you end up getting into fog, and then sort of just nothingness. Edge of the world. Edge of the world. There used to be fireworks here. Not important. Anyway, the first thing we did was build a teleporter system to get around. You know, the basic resources. So these all go to different biomes and things. You've got all your underground. You've got, you know, a jungle, a swamp, a desert. All those sorts of things, you just switch the last block here. I thought it was a pretty good way to have sort of a compact teleporter system. You know, I didn't want to do all sorts of teleporters in a row, so I thought this was a little bit better of a method. Not sure why. Anyway, I started building up this area, and I really liked the trees. That's sort of why I settled down here. It was sort of this fun landscape. We had a lake in the middle of it, and all these big, big trees. So I sort of settled down and wanted to try doing a sort of more organic type build. It's not really something I've ever done. It's sort of just a very organic build, and I started mixing in just some random blocks, some dead grass and weeds and these adobe bricks, and tried to make it all look sort of like it was a fallen down sort of ruins of an area, I guess. A ruins of an area, yeah. And that actually led to the most viewed video of the series, which was one about all about making fuel, which was this guy. So you can use hardened lava in a furnace, and I was cooking a lot of stuff, so I wanted to make sort of an infinite fuel situation. So that's how this came about. It's basically just hardened lava generator. And also, I think this guy down here, I think I had 2 sources of fuel in that episode. Obviously, this is one of the coal farms, or diamond farms, whatever you want to call it. After that, we went and made a secret mountain base that doesn't get discussed. We'll check that in a second. Let's just check out the rest of this base, I guess. I'm literally just following the thumbnails. I have a folder open. We made a beeswax farm over here. The idea with this area was to basically have a central base that we can teleport to, where we'll have all of our basically farms to get the basic items. So I have one place that I can come to. I can get all of the liquids. I can get fuel, diamonds, beeswax. That was the idea, and it actually works out really well. So we had our liquid farms here, and beeswax farm down here. Beeswax farm down here. Then over here I built the memory mausoleum, which is sort of an underground area. It was supposed to be to remember some of the different things that have happened in the series. We were going to do you know, memories in here. It never really worked out. These are some of my deaths. It just didn't really work out. I got my first sword and, you know, my first set of armor. You know, it is what it is. I don't really use that room anymore, but I still use these farms actually quite a bit. It is really convenient to have a place you could teleport to that sort of has everything in it. Down there we have a lava spawner room, which, well, it's actually off right now. But it spawns quite a few warm worms and hot feet and stuff, so I can get all of those drops. What do you call them? yeah, drops. I can get all those drops. What else do we have here? The simple storage room. Yeah, our storage room is over there. So, yeah, this area, I actually, you know, I come and use it a lot. We've got farms that I never really expanded on because, I mean, quite frankly, I have no reason to farm. I imagine I'll use this wheat farm when we get to the Christmas area, but I really had no reason to plant the other crops because I never cook. It just isn't really a useful part of Creativers, I don't think. But yeah, you can see we sort of went for the organic area, trying to make sort of a biome enhancement of our own. This penguin came a lot later, but still a pretty good penguin. Not the best, could definitely use some work, but anyway, this was the main part of having our touchstone up here, was to have a storage room that we can land in and basically have all of the blocks we need. And to be honest with you, I was a little bit worried. I definitely felt like we were outgrowing the storage room, and then the update dropped where you could get 300 in a stack. As soon as that update dropped, I shifted this a little bit. This is sort of the second iteration of the storage room. But yeah, as soon as that update dropped, I was like, perfect. I don't think I'll ever need a storage room bigger than this, to be honest. I mean, you can put so many blocks in a chest now, you know? Like, a 300 stack is just an enormous amount of blocks. So, I mean, this storage room is probably good for, you know, as long as we want. Oh, you are mad at me. You are mad at me, aren't you? Aw, little baby. Little baby. Yeah, do your spin thing. Come on. Yeah, yeah. You just want to show off for the camera. I know you. I know you. But yeah, the storage room is, I mean, I don't think we'll really ever outgrow it now, which is cool. It's really quite handy to teleport into here, do my stuff, and teleport out. Mostly using the touchstones. I usually set up this teleporter to whatever project I'm working on, so right now it's the Halloween adventure. But having a teleporter here, I usually just change it to whatever I'm working on, which is pretty cool, because that means I can get to my storage room and get out pretty fast. Got walls of processors, Ferni. I mean, I could use a bigger storage room, but it's not a huge deal. Also, that snazzy new, what is it called? Royal Pumpkin's King Chest. Yeah. I also wanted to expand this area a little bit, work on it a little bit more. So there's a few things back here. There's a bedroom, which was the site of the infamous Sidon prank that never really ended for a while. Sidon set up this trap where if I came to my bedroom, it would spawn all kinds of stuff. But then he never took it down for a while, so there was a good period of time my base was just infested nonstop. There's a room back here that leads to my treasure vault through just a very strange set of... I made a treasure vault that's really hard to get to, but now I can't remember how to get to it. We'll look at that later. This is the white room where we can test things that I don't really use ever either. A lot of like half-finished or unused stuff, but you know, that's part of these building games, I feel. You know, you build stuff, you forget about it, you don't use it. It is what it is. Anyway, I really enjoyed this building style, actually. I'm not gonna lie. I know it looks pretty simple and whatever, but it took a lot of sort of building outside of my norm and my comfort zone to make a lot of this stuff. Down here we have a diamond spawner room. I think I was trying to build a keepa room. It doesn't really work though, because there's so much space that keepas can spawn on that it doesn't really work. Like if you want to build a keepa spawning room, it's probably better to do like in the ocean or in the sky maybe, where you're not loading the ground. Somewhere that they don't have, you know, miles of grassland to spawn on. Anyway, I wanted to wrap right around this lake, which I did. I have my pets over here. I don't have many pets because, quite frankly, there's not really a reason to have pets. I don't find. I don't really, I mean, I guess it'd be nice to have a keepa, but then you have to feed them, and then it just seems like such a hassle for, you know, I think it's easier just to go kill them. I did get some chizards because, you know, those give the eggs that you don't get from killing them. I have one of these guys for no real reason. You know, I have a few more pens. I would like to fill them up eventually and finish this area, but, you know, is what it is. Over here, I tried making a flower farm, which kind of ended up being the same as the Keepa farm, where, you know, there's a lot of leaves that'll spawn flowers in here. There's a lot of leaves around, so building a leaf farm here didn't really make any sense either. Although, you know, we did learn this year that if you put down flowers and pick them up, you can sometimes get 2 back. So just piling up with like 50 flowers and going back down, you'll end up with 60. You pile those up, you end up with 70. Like, you just stack them like this, and then you go back down, and occasionally you just get extra, which is cool. Anyway, that's basically it for this base. So now let's go look at some of the, I guess, smaller stuff that we built throughout the year. Well, not the year, throughout the 50 episodes. Some of the other stuff we've done. Some of you may recognize this place. This is the super secret mountain base I built inconspicuously to spy on this super evil castle in the middle of our spawn. You see, Sidon Master, the first thing he put up was this castle, which nobody who owns a castle is anything but pure and utter evilness. So we built a super secret spy station to spy on him, and nobody ever found it. Also, my call sign. We all have call signs to label our teleporters, just a way to keep your teleporters neat and organized, so you can always tell whose teleporter is whose. Mine is the Feral Pigsy first. That's why I kind of hang these in some of my builds you may have seen. Anyway, let's sneak out here. Look at that. Nobody found it. Look how nicely it's hidden into the mountain. This is the free blueprint. It just this was a really good spot for it. I mean, it's sort of just up in the middle of nowhere. This is the free hoverjet one that everyone asked if it flies. It doesn't. So kind of just excited that I'm not getting comments about that anymore. No, the free hoverjet blueprint does not fly. Also, there's a nice penguin. That was a Side Master's little gift. Look at that, though. Nothing in that mountain. Nothing in that mountain. Nice hoverjet, though. That came out. That was a free blueprint. There was 2 blueprints that came with the industrial block set. That was the free one. And then the big giant that came with the other one. I'm going to go off course a little bit. There's a few things to check out at spawn. Also, sorry if it's a little bit laggy near spawn. Just is what it is. There's our train station we spent quite a bit working on that we'll check out in a second. It's kind of the back view that you rarely ever get of it. This train station was a really fun build for me personally. I rarely try and build things that actually exist in real life. So, you know, I don't usually have like a picture to go on, right? So having a picture of having a picture of something and then trying to build that's a real picture was an interesting challenge. It was a lot of fun. Anyway, up here was sort of just a one-off build that I did. That is Sloppy's Spa. Okay, that does close the door. This is Sloppy's Spa, which was just built as a nice place to relax. And just a nice Nordic spa, you know, like you hear about all the time from magazines. It's just nicely built into the Peakstone Mountain. We've got lovely views of spawn. As you can see, it's very cozy, a nice blue aesthetic. Got to use these awesome LEDs. You know, got to use diamond, which I rarely ever do. Got to build with Peakstone. I mean, not that it's much building, so much as just having Peakstone. Got our locker room back here. Very, you know, minimalist, but it's just a place to relax. A place to get your zen. Got a bit of delay. There's Remy's ice making machine. So let's go into spawn. Let's go into spawn. So after working on my storage room and all of that stuff, I decided to build near spawn. I wanted to build near spawn because spawn is, you know, it's awesome to build at spawn because other people are building at spawn, and then all of a sudden there's all kinds of builds for you to look at that aren't yours. And I think that's part of the fun of playing on a server, right, is seeing everyone else's builds. So this was the first thing sort of built at spawn. Sidon Master had gotten the kit that came with all the blocks to build this castle, which at the time was the biggest blueprint. I think it still is. I'm not 100% sure on that. But he really wanted to build this castle to be the center point of spawn, which is pretty cool. He found this cool area that we're in now that's sort of, you know, these rivers and kind of this lake in the middle, or this island in the middle. And it was kind of cool. This was a cool area for spawn. So we built this big castle. Took a really long time. You know, is what it is. Is what it is. And then other stuff started to spring up. This was one of the subway stations. This was a mock-up, a test shot. Originally, we were going to have a subway going all around spawn. So you'd go through this to get to the next station. Never really finished it, never really worked on it too much beyond this. I sort of started the train station to be sort of a hub to get around spawn, which I also haven't quite finished because I haven't quite worked out how to do that, but that is actually a build I do want to get back to, is the train station. We're going to finish that one day. Alright, this goes to our minigame area, which we'll check out in a second. I'm sort of going off of how we work these in order now, if you guys didn't know. Now it's just sort of a world tour. I still am following through so we don't miss anything, but we're not really going in order anymore. Also, this episode might be a little bit longer than normal, so I apologize if you're, you know, aghast by that. Anyway, one of the best parts about this server is we have a ton of amazing builders, including the one and only Remy D. Twitch.tv/TheRemyD? I can't remember. I'll try and remember to put a link in the description. You guys know who Remy is. But he made these amazing lamps, which the placemats got switched or whatever. So if I do that, yeah. So these are the lamps for around spawn, which just look incredible and have like a million parts. There's a wood planter with a fireplace, the medieval torch on top. No, there's also a placemat on there with those 4 little things and another fireplace. Is that what's happening there? Yeah. 2 fireplaces, a placemat, the 4 things, medieval torch, another placemat with 5 lamps. Yeah, they're pretty intense. They're pretty intense. Remy also built this amazing inn, which we are about to use. Spawn does look great at night, but I think we should look at it during the day so I don't get surprised by stuff. He also started to put down some bushes and things. This was before they made the placemat change. It used to be that the arrangement, the last arrangement, would hide the visual thing. Now they have a click box. But he made this amazing inn, which we're going to get into in, well, now. Is it going to close before that guy gets here? Or am I still in the sensor? I'm still in the sensor. Get out of here, buddy. Nice costume. In keep. I'm just going to take a room and not discuss it with you. Ooh, that leg, though. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Yeah, this place is... It's just amazing. And then he built this really cool thing where you go into a room and you shut the door. And all of a sudden you're in a room. It's just, it's so cool. It's so cool. We can sleep. We have storage. We have a little plant. You know? It's a high-end place to stay. And then we can leave on our way out. And look at that. We can leave the inn. It's morning time. 5 in the morning. Apparently I'm an early riser. Woo! Yeah, we have some issues around spawn with lag, like especially around spawn. I don't know quite what the issue is. There's a lot of machines. There's a lot of lights. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, we'll come back to my 2 builds over here. There's a few other things around spawn. This is Sidon's Real Fake Doors. This is a Sidon Master shop for doors, for real fake doors. I never fully understood what the shop was for. Something about doors. Anyway, this is Update Hill, so every update that comes out, you'll find all of the new blocks conveniently spaced up here. So our last update was the Galactic. All the Galactic blocks are here. Update Hills are really great to have on servers. Had one on the last server, the Project Singularity server as well. They're just really great for being able to see all the new blocks. You know, people have a place to go where they can look at them. You can show them off. Just a nice little hill. There's the Chicken Coop, which is the Galactic free update. Free blueprint, whatever. This is the machine testing area that I built to test machines. I wanted a place we could go that had all the machines in it. That was just a nice, convenient area to test machines. I built it in this wood style to sort of fit in to the area. And yeah, it's just really convenient, actually. It has, you know, every machine you could want, all the lights and stuff. So you can come here, test stuff, you know, set up stuff. Especially on a server, you guys can bounce ideas off of each other. Be like, hey, do you mind going and checking my machine thing? I've actually used this quite a bit with other people to set up little circuits and whatnot. I've seen Remy use it a few times. It actually is convenient just to, you know, get some ideas. And I'm not good with machines, so, you know, I ask for help a lot, and that's a good place to get help, especially if you're not online with each other. You know, then I don't have to like go to their base and try and find it. Whatever, just convenience. This is the Creatinators Zoo, which Lazy Man built. Yeah, it's an adventure if you guys want to look at it. This is Tashlin's... Okay, I don't want to say the wrong word for the millionth time. This is Tashlin's library and suppository. Suppository, yeah. I mixed that up with a word that means something very different and a little crude. Anyway, she built this amazing thing with grass, which I never thought grass would be anything that I would ever be impressed by in a build, but she built a grass dome that looks kind of like a hobbit hole. That is just awesome. And inside is really cool. It's a place to put all of our recipe doubles and all that sort of stuff, so you can come here and look for the different recipe things. I left a little chest here because I couldn't figure out where to put them. But it's a really cool idea. This is the recipe. This is the recipe. I think over here is note and journal page. Yeah. So it's just a place to put some of that stuff, which is kind of cool. Kind of cool. Classic Tashlin build, just way too good at making the rest of us look bad. She also has this downstairs area, which, I mean, kind of different from the upstairs. You know, upstairs I'm like, oh, this is warm and homey, and I just want to read here. Downstairs I get a little uncomfortable. Looks like it'd be a little too warm. Whatever. Whatever. Now let's look at some of the stuff I built around Spawn, and then we'll go over that direction. So one of the first things I built on this server was a dance club, which, can I find? It's down here. I built an underground dance club because, I mean, why not? Why not? This is our bouncer Bob. He's jacked. Don't mess with him. It's an underground dance club that hasn't quite opened yet, but has a few cool things about it. So if we go in, this is our underground dance club. It's pretty hype. It's pretty hype. Very, you know, minimalist, I would say, but it was actually kind of tough to build because there was a lot of things I wanted to do with it. This is actually tar on the walls, which I think gives a really good vibe. I think it goes really well with the bedrock, and I just really like the aesthetic of this place. It also has a working dance floor, which, I mean, it was working. Yeah, okay, some of the LEDs are a little bit bugged out. I'm not sure what's wrong with this, but they do flip. They used to work fine. I don't know. Time and updates degrade everything. But, yeah. 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 That was a fun project. That was actually really hard to get the lights to flash back and forth. That actually took more than a few brains to come together. Avler was involved. I think Remy got involved. Sidon was involved. There was a lot of people with a hand in making those lights flicker back and forth, and we actually got a pretty cool circuit that I don't remember a lick of to do that. That I don't remember at all. Anyway, this was one of the other builds I built around Spawn. So this isn't complete either, but basically anything that has a name on it, well, they're all going to be a teleporter to an area that's used for mining. So, you know, if you want to go and mine a swamp or mine, you know, a canyon, a desert, savanna, this is sort of our mining area. We've also got our 4 underground biomes down here. I haven't quite gone and done all of the biomes because each of these biomes has its own little hut. Has its own little hut. Yeah, that makes sense. Which we will go check out. I mean, I guess well, we'll come back to these. But yeah, each of these has their own little hut. You know what? Actually, we won't check these out. They're not terribly exciting. Basically, I wanted to do each teleporter to each different area. I wanted to do like a different little build and try and use different blocks and just sort of push myself to use materials that I'm not used to, because I use a lot of the limestone and whatnot. So each of these actually uses completely different materials and is a completely different thing, and that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. It's also actually really handy to have sort of like mining biomes set up, so you can just go, you know, you don't have to feel bad about ruining it in case someone wants to build there. Yeah. Anyway, let's go to the train station build. That's sort of the last thing to look at around Spawn. This is probably, well, it's probably the build I spent the second most amount of time on. So this is actually a remake of a real-life train station named Dunedin Train Station, which is in New Zealand, which is a very gorgeous train station. That's a sort of blue and white train station with a red roof. And I wanted to try and build something that was a real life something, and, you know, a train station with everything that was happening seemed like a great idea. So that's how this came up. Boy, those are ugly. And it was actually a real challenge to build this. First off, getting the materials, you know, right was kind of tough, because when you're basing it off real life, you know, nothing looks quite right, especially in a game with so many blocks, right? So yeah, that was interesting. The outside came together sort of afterwards. I sort of built everything and then tried to landscape it because it looked very plain. I'm not sure I got the landscaping exactly right, but I don't mind it. You know, a couple fountains. Anyway, this is the train station. There's a few things that I'm not happy with, but overall, I think it's a really cool build. Shout out to Remy for this sweet SG sign. I just had like an S there before he came and did magic with an arc sign. Welcome to Sloppy Station. This is Teddy. He's cool. We've got a little cafe over here. It's quite large. We're gonna have a map at the back eventually that shows where people are in spawn. We're gonna use sensors and have sort of LEDs that show where people are. I think that's gonna be kind of cool. Should be kind of a fun machine project. We've got a little area up there. This isn't quite done, but it's sort of done. I asked somebody else to design a train, because I tried to design a train and it looked like a, I don't know, a red blob might be an appropriate term for what my train looked like. And this train happened to be on the blueprints, which is, I think, the Polar Express train was the idea for this one. And it looks just awesome in here. And this place took a while to build, but I'm really happy with it. And it's kind of cool. I think there's some stuff we can do with it still, but I think it's really neat. Yeah, a lot of updates came out in all of these. You know, I'm just going through them kind of quickly, but there was a lot of updates that sort of changed everything. Like the custom blueprints allowed, you know, this place to go from, because that came out in the middle of building this, went from, oh, I have to build a train to, oh, well, you guys can build a train and then I can just take it, which is essentially what happened. And that was pretty cool. I never published a blueprint of this because it doesn't actually fit into a blueprint. I know a lot of people were asking me if I would. It didn't actually fit into a blueprint, so I didn't publish it. I could, but it'd be missing one end or the other, which, you know, may not be the greatest thing. Anyway, there is one last thing to look at over at Spawn. Whew, we've been here a while. There's one last thing to look at over here, which is in this direction. Bloop, 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 bloom. I forgot I probably shouldn't try and glider around Spawn, but you know what? It's alright. It's alright. Ooh, baby. Okay. Yeah, this is Sided Master's Planetarium, which is a really cool build. I'll show you guys real fast. It's a really cool build. He used the coal. He used the coal. I think we can turn all these off. Yeah. He used the coal. They changed the coal sometime when we were playing the server to have the sparkles. You know, all the ores sparkle now. And he made this really cool planetarium. I think he's using the grav chambers. It just looks incredible. And then, you know, these control the lights. But just an amazing build. Just a really cool, different build. Just awesome. Just awesome. And if we continue this way. Ayo, skylight. If we continue this way, there is this guy. So this is the other industrial blueprint, which is a giant robot laying down. You can climb all up in his guts and stuff. So this was an area me and Sidon worked on together. This is sort of our community farming area. And we went for this sort of broken down industrial vibe because, well, he wanted to build this, which ended up really cool. And this is actually the first blueprint I ever built using the burst fill. They added that in. We were going to build it, and then Sidon said, all right, let's just wait till the next update, because he's on the sneak preview server. And I was like, okay, that's weird, but sure. And then that was with the one with the burst fill, so this came together a lot quicker than it would have otherwise. And yeah, so basically, these are supposed to be railway carts. We wanted to build a railway. Or a rail cart. Couldn't quite figure out how to do that. Anyway, there's all kinds of crops over here. I imagine this will be useful come Christmas time with the gingerbread. But yeah. And then got your, you know, different liquids back here. Kind of just a fun build we did together. And I think that's everything at spawn that I want to show you. The last thing is just Remedy built this little temple of Anubis. It's a snake temple. It's really impressive. Anubis. Yeah, so you come and you stand here to give penance or whatever. And yeah, he's got this really cool room down here. We're at Corruption Layer. Is really impressive. Floors 1 and 2 are done. There's some sort of weird system where you press a button here and it teleports you. I haven't quite figured it out, but sometimes I just like coming down here to look at the room because it's really cool. Alright, now let's go check out probably the build I spent the most amount of time on. That isn't quite done, but should be done in the very near future. So this is the minigame area on the server, which has, I've never actually seen that before. This is, right, this is sort of a Spleef-esque game. There's a few interesting things on here that I haven't seen before. My build is sort of on the far... I think there's another one over there somewhere. We're just going to go to mine, though. I'm not going to check out these right now. Maybe next episode, because I haven't seen those before. Either way, I started to build something. This was around the time I started streaming, and I wanted a project to... okay. I wanted a project that I could build on stream, and this sort of came up. It was something I've been wanting to build for a while, so I built it basically on stream. And it is a PvP-esque arena, which is actually very close to being done. I really just have to like buckle down and finish the last sort of bits. But basically it's a PvP arena where you have two teams, one on either corner. And there's 3 towers, or 3 capture points. I'm standing on one, there's one in that corner, there's one in the middle. It's all very well spaced out. It's all very paced together. And basically, if you capture all 3 towers, a room opens up in front of the opposing team base. In this case, it's this little shack. And inside of the room is the opponent's sort of boss. And if you kill their boss, you win the game. So you have to capture all 3 towers and then kill their boss. So it's pretty, yeah, it's pretty cool. I wanted it to be a little bit different than just a PvP arena, which I actually do intend on building. That's going to be a fun build, but stay tuned for that. Anyway, a lot went into this place. A lot of detail work that I'm not usually used to doing. You know, these are custom trees, and I mean, this is all built here, right? This used to be a canyon, so I carved this out and built the whole thing, the walls and everything. A lot of custom work. No, I'm not used to doing this amount of detail or this amount, you know, this size or this scale of anything. So this this build started sort of around the same time, so this is where you would spawn in. You'd put your touchstone on one of these blocks. This is the blue team. Down here you can actually see your creature. So inside of there is where your boss would spawn that they're trying to kill. But yeah, yeah, this build came out around the same time as the industrial blocks, so I really wanted to do sort of an industrial style. I had this build in mind, and then, you know, the industrial blocks came out and it was like, let's try and use those. So that's sort of what happened. So this is one tower, which I think the machinery still works. The machinery was built by Lazy Man. Essentially, yeah, capturing red point, and whenever that light comes on, it means we captured it. You have to stand here for a couple seconds. There, the red team's captured that point. So you can see it's red now. Blue would capture it on the other side, and then you can turn it neutral, which, yeah, you can see the one on the far side is neutral right now. It's white. Apparently red's captured the middle point. I think the machinery is all sort of down underneath this area. Not important. Either way, a lot of detail, a lot of work went into this, mostly streaming, but I think I made a couple episodes sort of updating about it. And there's a few sort of hidden features, hidden traps, you know, little levers you can pull and whatnot. And I'm probably like 3-4 hours away from this being playable, which is pretty exciting. This is the center warehouse. So this is the center point, which is pretty important. I guess it's kind of obviously, this is the blue side, capturing blue points. You can't actually, this is like 1 block away from being able to hit each other right here. But yeah, this was a lot of time put into this one, and a lot of detail, and a lot of just stuff I'm not used to doing, which was a lot of fun, and led to some pretty cool stuff. This side is like one of my favorite builds. This side, I tried to make it look like the inside of like a nuclear submarine. which these red lights I think sort of allow you to do. Boy, I fought a lot of angry canyon creatures during my time here. This is supposed to be closed and locked. Yeah, this build took a really long time and was really fun to put together. Man, I hate fighting. I just want to play in peaceful. Yeah. This build we're gonna work on soon, and we're gonna finish it soon, and then get the people on the server to come over here and try their luck at PvP, and it'll be super fun and awesome. There we go. Let's just chill up here. Yeah, this I had to carve out some mountain, and this was a really cool build to do. All right, now let's check out a different build. All right, it wouldn't be quite the world tour if I didn't show you Remy's ridiculous build. So we're inside of it right now. Remy, he's nuts. This is the map of his build. The guy's absolutely insane. He has like, he has a bunch of worlds he's playing on, and they all have these ridiculously huge, amazing builds that he does. I want to say outside. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. No? Okay. They all have these ridiculously huge, amazing builds he does. He's just a real Creatinators connoisseur, you might say. This is so big that it's going to take a while to load in, but he's essentially building, I think he said something about, it's like an ivory tower or something. Anyway, he's digging down to like, you know, I mean, I guess at least lava layer. Apparently all of the inside of the circle, which as you can see is quite a large area, he's going to be digging out, which just blows my mind. I saw there's chests inside that have some of the blocks that he's already dug out, and it's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. I want to see if we can get up to the top there. Let's just yeah, okay. One of these I think goes to the top where you have this really cool view. Top. Yeah, so this is up on top of the area we were just on, which is underneath that area, I believe, which is just nuts. This build is so huge. This build is so huge, it's been crazy seeing it go up. It really has been crazy just to see this thing sort of build on top of itself. Crazy guy. The last area that's not mine that I want to show you is Sidemaster's area, which hasn't been built up too much, but it's a really cool build. And it's in a biome that almost nobody uses because they don't really exist very much, which is kind of cool. When we first started this world, he basically came out and said, I want to build in this biome. And it was sort of like one of those things where I was like, I don't even know what that biome is, but that sounds cool. And it is, not the fossil, it is the taiga biome. So he went with this crazy build style using the wood gravel wall, haunted floors. It works super well. As you guys can see, he built this absolutely crazy roof of thatch or shredded leaves. And yeah, it's amazing. He also has this amazing path. This is the taiga. It has matted needles and elderwood trees. And it's an absolutely incredible biome. There's not many, and they're very small. So he found this one, and he built this really cool house. He had other plans for this area. You can see he's built out his path a little bit. He was going to do, I believe the idea was to use, he was going to build viewers' blueprints, their custom blueprints of really cool things, and just sort of have an area that was all just really cool custom blueprints. Yeah. Very cool. Just very cool biome, very cool little build. I thought I would show you guys that because it's a kind of a cool thing on this world. I also love this path. Anyway, now let's go look at the last thing I want to show you guys today, which is my most recent build, which we'll get. Right, we are up on top of where we're supposed to be inside of. Something about the last update screwed up this teleporter where it teleports me outside, as opposed to falling into here. So this is the latest thing I've been working on, which was supposed to be this Halloween adventure, which has been pushed back due to, I'm bad at judging how long it'll take me to do things. Yeah, this is the start of the Halloween adventure, sort of a haunted house. You can sort of see it from out here. Anyway, the idea was to do I wanted to do a really interactive adventure. You know, the adventures thing is something that I feel like creators put in the game and sort of forgot about. And there's a lot of really great adventures out there, but a lot of them are sort of world tours or whatever. And I wanted to create an adventure that was sort of interactive and had fights and had puzzles for you to solve and whatnot. And I'm still, you know, trying to do that. But I think that's kind of cool, doing an adventure that's really, you know, there's been a few. The Wild West adventure by Super Dave and some of the stuff like that. I mean, there's been a few adventures that have been really incredible. But for the most part, I mean, people put an adventure gate down. It's sort of a world tour, a walkthrough of your builds, which is completely fine. I like those. But I just felt like I wanted to contribute an adventure that had a bit more pizzazz, a bit more, you know, almost like a game in itself. You know what I mean? So that sprung this Halloween idea. So this whole thing is supposed to be viewed at night, but for my own personal safety, I suppose, we're going to view it during the day. So it's basically going to consist of multiple levels whenever it comes out. And the first level is a summer camp. So they're all sorts of plays on classic Halloween, you know, movies and whatnot. So the first area is this summer camp, which isn't quite done. It needs a few more things, I think. It's a little bit barren. But it's a summer camp that you're going to play through. There's going to be a puzzle, sort of a storyline that you follow and try and solve and get to the end of, which is going to be probably done with arc signs, unfortunately. I think they're basically the only way I can communicate with you that can toggle on and off, unfortunately. But yeah, there's going to be arc signs that sort of guide you through a story and stuff for you to fight. And I've actually got a lot of it already done. I'm just not going to show you because I don't want to spoil it. But yeah, it's going to all revolve sort of around a Day of the Dead-esque theme because we've got some pretty cool stuff, you know, with these new decorations of sorts. But yeah, I've been working on this most recently, and it's been a lot of fun. You know, it's kind of a weird thing to be building, and you know, I get that, but it's kind of fun all in itself. This part isn't quite done. There's a lot of machinery stuff that I'm kind of figuring out with these, but I also just need to decorate this a lot more. Is what it is. Yeah, okay, I'll just steal that for now. This goes to our second part. So basically the way this adventure works is there's multiple parts of it. So, you know, the first part is the summer camp. The second part is going to be this abandoned space station that crashed to Earth. And what you have to do or solve or fight in it is sort of a mystery of sorts as well. But basically, yeah, this is the second part, which is sort of a fallen down space station. I don't think this side is done quite yet. This is sort of what I've been working on most recently. This side is sort of the big biodome. The biodome. Again, it needs some, I think, just more decorating. You know what I mean? I think is important. Let's see. Yeah, just more decorating. That's what the that's what the scare flare looks like inside of it, which is just absurd. It looks like an angry tennis ball. Love it. Love it. Love it. Yeah, there's going to be arc signs sort of all over the place, sort of with different story elements, which will be cool. Also, if you guys haven't played the Wild West adventure by Super Dave, highly recommend it. It's basically this Wild West story that's all done in Creativers using arc signs and whatnot. That's so well done. Like, characters actually have different responses to you as you progress through the story. You get into gunfights with pirates or cowboys. Not pirates. There's no pirates in the Wild West adventure. It's absolutely incredible. Highly recommend you guys check that out. Up here are 4 different rooms. Essentially, the way this adventure is going to work is there's going to be 4 different bosses you have to fight that are going to be in each of these rooms that you have to unlock. So the first floor, you unlock these rooms. The second floor, you fight them. The third floor, you get to escape. And there's going to be some cool stuff with that. The third adventure, I haven't started yet, but it's going to be in the jungle, which is just over this way. The jungle, yeah, the jungle's just right there. The jungle adventure is going to be, well, I guess I haven't told you guys yet, but it's basically going to be a parkour-esque part. It's going to be an adventure through sort of the jungles, sort of a Tarzan-like thing where it's all parkour, which should be a lot of fun. But yeah, this is sort of what I've been working on. This is my adventure area. That was supposed to be a Halloween adventure, but it takes a lot of time to do these things. I'm a pretty slow builder, and I'm even slower with machines, so yeah. That's basically it. Let's teleport to our first area. That's basically it for this world tour. We didn't see everything. We saw a lot of things. We saw everything that I've worked on, minus some of the smaller builds that I did for different biomes, but you guys can see those if you go back in the playlist. Oh, been crazy though. 50 episodes. Mind-blowing. A lot of fun though. A lot of fun. A lot of half-cooked things that I now realize I have to go back and finish. Which maybe the next few episodes, maybe we'll... Well, you guys let me know. If you want me to continue, you know, or try new things, or go back and finish the things that I probably should have finished, let me know what your favorite build is in the comments down below. I'd be super curious to hear what your favorite build was, or your favorite moment of the season, or whatever, man. Whatever. Let's sleep real fast, set off some fireworks to finish this. Yeah, let me know in the comments what your favorite thing is, maybe what I should work on next, or anything like that, because I'd be kind of curious to hear. A lot of builds, though. A lot of stuff. And what's my favorite build? I really like the arena. I really like the train station. Whoa. Whoa. Let's set these off. These ones are very pretty, I find. Let's just stare up at the sky and finish for today. Let's, I thought I pressed you. We got one more. Let's get a nice picture of it. Yay! Pictures. Am I the only one that uses the camera feature? I feel like it was such a good feature and nobody talks about it. Not important. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, leave a like down below. Sorry it was so long. I tend to ramble just all the time. Yep, there's no real follow-up to that. I tend to ramble, but that's okay. You know, it is what it is. I'm gonna save this bat juice. I was gonna use it and then I forgot about it. I'm gonna save it. We don't get many more of those. Bat juice for days. Anyway, it's been a pleasure. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and subscribe for more. We're gonna keep building and keep doing stuff and Creativerse and things, and I'll see you guys later. Ciao.